7:28 in Trinidad and Tobago, just listening to the national instrument there. But let's put the focus on another instrument, because Curtis Collins is joining us now to tell us more about his virtual piano and music classes. He joins us now, and he's going to give us a demonstration about the effectiveness of his tutorials. But Curtis, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. All right, so let's hear about these piano and music theory classes. Is it something that's ongoing? Are you starting it soon? How is it going to be running these classes?
All right, well, I actually started teaching piano in 2017. However, due to the COVID, I decided to take it to online. And it is continuous because with the examination boards I tutor under, which is the Trinity College of London and ABRSM, there are 8 grades, and usually to cover one grade, that will take about a year. So the courses are ongoing, so it's continuous.
And before you give us a sampling of how this thing is going to be working online, because I know obviously for all different types of tutorials and so on, the online situation presents a challenge in this time of the COVID-19 pandemic. If people want to get more information on these classes and what they have to do to register and the requirements and the age group and all that sort of thing, where do they have to go to? What do they have to do to register?
All right, so I am on Facebook and on Instagram. You can find me at CMA 868 or Collins Music Academy. When you go on that page, you're going to see all the information about me, all the information about my classes. You're going to see some samples of me actually playing, some samples of my students actually playing, and I can be contacted via WhatsApp to get any more information, or you could give me a phone call. My number is 718-4041.
718-4041. We have that on the screen as well to remind our viewers, and indeed mentioning it for our listeners as well. Okay, so Curtis, give us an example as to for about 60 seconds or so as to how this works as far as the tutorial.
Right. So the practical aspect. This is the screen that my students usually see, and you can see it's a lot of information is in here. To the bottom, you could actually see my hands. And to the top right, you could actually see the musical staff. You have the treble clef, the bass clef, and whatever notes I'm playing there. And then to the left, you can see the types of chords I'm playing. That's more for my more advanced, my adult students. But especially for my younger students, like age 5 to 6, I need for them to be able to see my hands. So they could see the correct fingering. And I could just tell them, look at my hands and look how I'm playing the C major scale. And then they'll be able to reproduce that on the instrument. For my older students, because I have students ranging from the age of 5 to the age of 76, actually. And this type of environment is really helpful, especially how I can't be there with them in person and adjust their hands. They are able to see how I'm holding my hands, how my posture is, and that really helps them along.
Just a question on that as we're talking. If you're, and forgive me if it sounds like a stupid question, if you're right-handed or left-handed, is that a challenge when you're playing because with the fingers on the keys? Because if you have a natural tendency towards one hand or the other, is there something that's a way you do your tutorials to deal with that?
For the instrument piano, both hands must be equally strong. So it doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. You have to make sure that each hand, because I'm right-handed. But I have to make sure that whatever my right hand is able to play, my left hand is also able to play. So in the event that a left-hander comes, I will tell them to do some additional exercises because the right hand and left hand has to be of equal strength. As a pianist, both hands are equally important.
And tell us how these classes have been going in the online format. What sort of feedback have you been able to get as to its effectiveness?
All right. Well, for my classes, I tend to keep them small. About 5 person per session, so that I'm able to get that kind of one-on-one interaction with them, and I'm able to give them as much attention and as much feedback as possible. And the feedback has been extremely positive. As I said, you could check my Facebook and you could see the reviews. However, I have gotten a lot of students sending me videos. They're laughing, they're smiling, sending the exercises. The parents also message me and tell me how they are impressed at how I'm able to handle them on the online platform, how I'm able to captivate their attention, how I'm able to keep them focused and really encourage them to learn and to play and enjoy what they are doing.
So when someone registers and you're fully registered, you pay $400 a month, the registration fee and so on, and for these classes, how often are these classes conducted?
Right. So for each session, it's one session a week. Obviously, that's around 4 times a month. And even with that one individual, that one group session, I would normally send videos. So if I teach a C major scale, I'll make a video of me explaining what the C major scale is, how to position your finger and that kind of stuff, and I will send it to them. And during the week, I have constant communications with all my students. I send them WhatsApp messages, remind them of the homework. I tell them to send me videos of them playing so I can see their posture, I can see their fingering, and then I could give them feedback as to how they are playing, how they can improve. I could then make another video and send them something else to correct, to fix their posture. Or I can schedule a one-on-one session where it's just me and that student, and we can work with whatever issues they're having. Or if they have a particular song they want to learn, we can do that via the one-on-one session or in one of the group sessions as well.
And as far as your involvement with this instrument, tell us a bit about yourself, Curtis Collins, and indeed how you got involved with the piano, and indeed what got you into offering these tutorials.
All right. Well, it has been a long journey. I actually began playing the piano at 8. And that's because my mom was taking care of an elderly lady who had this miniature piano. And she always observed me heading towards that piano and just trying to touch the keys. And she gifted it to me. So when that happened, and then when I started high school, my mom gave me the option to do a co-curricular of music or or football. So obviously I took the music, and having been going to classes, doing the graded examinations up until grade 8, playing in church, playing for a lot of big concerts like Jazz Fest, Reggae on the Beach, Glow Festival, as well as participating in the biannual music festival, winning awards such as the Most Outstanding Performer, Best Piano Solo. It's been a long journey, but I am very excited to be gifted the opportunity to start to teach these kids and adults. I began when I left the University of the West Indies with a bachelor's in physics. A lot of persons don't believe me when I tell them I have a major in physics and not music, because when I was at UE, everyone thought that I was studying music. But I'm actually a bachelor holder of physics with honors. And then when I left UE in 2017, waiting for a job, my mom suggested that I started teaching music while I wait. And I was heavily against the idea at first. However, some persons approached me, especially those around 5 and 6 years old. And I was very timid to start at that age group. But I gave it my best shot. I did a lot of research. I tried my best to make it enjoyable for them with a lot of videos, because they are young, their attention span very short, and you have to keep them active. And from 2017 to now, some of those students are still with me. They're actually completing some of their exams at the end of this year, and they stuck with me, and they still told me they enjoy it. They like how I teach. They enjoy seeing their kid smile and having fun in the instrument. So. Well, that's how it all started.
An interesting journey, Curtis Collins, from a degree in physics to teaching the piano to ages 5 to 76 in that regard. And before time runs out on us, just remind everybody again, if they want to get more information on the classes, on the tutorials, or they want to register, whatever their age may be, what do they have to do?
Right. So if you're interested in playing the piano, learning about music theory, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram by searching Collins Music Academy or CMA 868. There you will see all my information. The best way to register is to WhatsApp me or call me. My number is 718-4041. Just shoot me a message and say I'm interested in your classes. If you have any more information, I'll be happy and willing to assist you.
And indeed, speaking to us from his base at Bethel in the sister isle of Tobago. Curtis, before we go, just play us a bit of your favorite piece as we go out with this segment. Let's ask you to play something that could be a nice way for us to wind up this segment. And we thank you for taking the time to be with us this morning.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for having me. So I'm going to play this piece called Rivers Flows in You. A lot of students requested this piece for me to teach them it. I don't know, this piece really captivates a lot of persons. I hope you enjoy it as well.
Thanks very much indeed, and tremendous effort from Curtis Collins. As we go to a break now, 7:39 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, here's an image from Steve Rattan of Marabella. The Anthurium, one bright red, the other a bit of a hybrid or variegated version, as we go to the break.